Welcome to Python Programming Language video tutorials by Talent Chain India Private Limited. I am your host Babu sir, technical, quant, logical reasoning trainer. In this presentation, I would like to discuss the split method. Without wasting much time, let's start and discuss about this method. Let me write here, split method. Now, what is the role that the split method is going to do? So this method will be used to split the string. Into a list. So do remember, we are going to split the string into a list. So in simple terms, we can say we can divide the string. Into substrings. Each substring will be act as an item from the list. So we will be having here substrings inside this list as an individual elements. So I hope the idea of split method is clear. Now let us learn the syntax of this split method. Let me write here the syntax. So in this syntax, so we will be writing here string dot split, and here this method is going to hold two parameters. So one is separator, and second one is max split. So do remember. So now what is the role that separator will be doing? So it provides the info that at which position we have to split the string. So let me write it here. So it tells the info that at which position we should split the string. So do remember this one. If not provided anything at this separator, by default, it will be taking a white space. So default value for this separator here, is white space. So based on white space, it is going to split the string if nothing provided at separator. Now let's comes to the next parameter, that is max split. This parameter provides the info that number of splits we have to perform. So do remember this one, right? Suppose if you not provided any number over here, then it will be taking the default value as -1. So one should remember this one. So default value for max split is what? -1. So what does it mean? Suppose if it is 2, which means we have to divide 2 splits. So number of splits becomes 2. If it is 5, number of splits becomes 5. But if nothing provided, so default value will be considered it as -1, which means there is no limit for the number of splits. So try to understand what I have conveyed here. Now this can be understand if I have explained with an example. So let me go back to my IDE and let's see a few examples for this split method. Now let us take, so A is equal to one string, that is how are you. Now I am writing here A dot split. So here A means A holds what string, right? So A points the content, which is what string, right? So string dot split, right? So nothing I'm going to pass here, which means it actually it holds two parameters. One is separator, and the second one is what? Max split. So nothing I have given here. Now in this case, default value for the separator is white space. So based on the white space, it is going to separate the string. Right? Now let me execute it so that you could understand. Now, so you could see here. So this split method will be start reading the string from the first character onwards. Now let's go back and see here. Now let me write the same example what I have written in my IDE. So let us take A is equal to how are you? Now if you are writing here A dot split, nothing you have passed here, which means separator is not there and max split is also, we haven't provided any value. Now in this case, based on white space, so it is going to split the string. So this split method will start reading first character onwards. As I told you here, by default, we have white space as separator, right? So whenever it finds a white space, there it stops and consider up to there, it has a one item. Now you could see here, so it started reading from H onwards. So after W, it encounters what space? When it identifies the space, so it will be considered, so this word as first item into the list, right? Now, first item in the list is how. So, and then again, it start reading the string. So again, after ARE, again, it finds a white space. So until here, it will be considered as an item. Now, the next item for the list is R. And then it continues to read the string. So YOU. So we don't have any space over here. So the rest of the word will be a third item in the list. So this will be getting as our output. Now you may write the same thing as A dot split. So here quotes, right? So suppose if I want to have max split is 2, then what will happen? We will see it in my IDE. Let me go back to my IDE. And here I'm writing empty string with a space. So white space I have given. Now I'm going to place comma and I'm writing here 2. Now let me execute it. You will be getting same output because here the separator is space. Now let me change the string. So instead of spaces, let me write some stars. And let us give star as a separator. And here I'm going to give 1. Then let's see what could be the output. Now you could see the output is how are you? What happened over here? Now, if you see here, it starts reading from the first character onwards. Whenever this star symbol is there, it stops. Until then, it will be considered as first item. The first item is how. So here we are asking number of splits as 1. Hence, the rest of the word becomes what? Next item for the list. Suppose if I have given 2, now you could see 3 items. Number of splits is only 2. We got here 3 items. I hope you could understand. Now let me give you here, I'm writing, I hope You are doing good. Now let me execute it. So we have only two stars. Based on this, we are going to separate it. Now let's see the output. So we have two splits. The first split, how? Second split, R. And for the next characters, next sequence will be considered as final item from this list. If it is clear, let's go back and discuss what is R split. Now let's go back to Paint and let us discuss what is R split. Now let me take the example called A is equal to, I hope you are doing good. Now, if we have written A dot split, so if nothing I have passed based on white space, we will be getting items in a list. Now, this split method will read the string from the left side onwards. So wherever space, if it finds, so until then it consider it as an item. Whereas R split will do what role? So A dot, I'm writing here, R split. So it will read the string from right side onwards. Right? So now it start reading from here, and wherever it finds white space, it will be considered as an item. Now this becomes what lost item when we are reading the string using this method. Now, if you observe the output, in our output, lost item is good. And then it continue reading the string. So it reads doing, and again it finds empty space or white space. So again, this become lost to the second item in the list. So it continues in a similar way. Right? I hope you could understand the difference between A dot split and A dot R split. So the next item will be what? Here, R. What could be the next item? U. What could be the next item? O. What could be the next item? I. So this could be your output. Now let's go back to my IDE and see the difference between split method and R split method. Now let us copy this one for better understanding and let us paste it over here. So let me remove this one. Now you could see here I am using R split. Now let me execute it so that you could see the difference. Right now you could see over here the first item will be this one. This is what the first item. Now the second item will be what? This one. This is what the last item. Right. Now let me increase stars over here so that you could understand in a better way. Here also I am using some stars. Now let me execute it both. Now you could see over here the difference so that you could understand. Right. So where you are getting a first star, you are getting first star at where? Here. So this becomes what? The last item in the list. And it encounters the next star here. So the next item will be I. The rest of the items will be as one particular item in particular list. So whereas in the previous methodology, so when we don't have here R, the first item is how. So since we have identified star over here. The second item becomes what? R. Right? Since we need only number of splits as 2, so 2 splits completed, so the rest of the string becomes an item. So I hope you could understand the difference between split method and R split method. So let me give you one more example so that you could understand in a better way. So let me take a string here. I works for a company. It is MNC company. So this is what the string. Let us write split. And here I am going to divide the string based on ampersand symbol. So number of splits needed is 3. Now let me execute it and you could see the output. So the first item is I, and where you could identify the next ampersand symbol here so that works becomes the second item and then for becomes the third item, right? So 3 splits completed. So the rest of the string becomes the last item. Now let us copy the same thing and write instead of split, R split. So when you are using R split, so it will start reading the string from here. So when you are reading from right side, so first ampersand is here. So this could be the last item. So company. Now the second from last to second item will be, so company, it is MNC. And the third item becomes what? Per. The rest of the items becomes one item. Now let's see. So this is what the first item, right? Now you could see, as I told you, company becomes what? Last item. Now company to MNC becomes the last to second item. Now for is the third item. So I hope the idea of a split method is clear to everybody. If you clearly understand the split and R split method, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.